Ek het net by Vader gekry, ek met hierdie 2 video's moet ek probeer insit in ons reeks. Die eerste ene is oor die moeder-eienskappe van die skepping en waar die persoon dan daaruit aflei dat die Elohim bestaan uit vader en moeder. En die tweede ene is dan ook bewyse uit die skrif in die oorspronklike Hebreëus met die agtervoegsels en voorvoegsels wat dan die geslagtelik aandui van die gees as vroulik. Want Openbaring 19 tot 1:22 gaan nie eintlik verstaan word as die mense nie daai begrip het nie.
The Bible is the holy book in which God's words are written. It is the best-selling and steady-selling book which is the most read in the world. For thousands of years, numerous biblicists have studied the Bible, hoping they can understand God's will. However, there is still one thing that biblicists have not solved. It is the part where God refers to himself as us. The enigmatic "we" of Genesis, the climax of Genesis chapter 1, and the heart of its mystery comes in the description of the creation of Adam, the Hebrew term meaning human beings or humanity. God had said, "Let there be light," but now God does not say, "Let there be man." Instead, he says, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness." Every other act of creation had been a singular act, a word spoken and carried out. Now it would appear that God is surrounded by others like himself. This passage has long been a puzzle for interpreters of the Bible. The biblicists said that the passage, "Let us make man in our image, in our likeness," has been a mystery which hasn't been solved up until today. Why did God not refer to himself as me, but us? For the biblicists who firmly believe that God is one, it was difficult to interpret the word us, which refers to God. Torah, the original text of the Bible, records God, who referred to himself as us, as Elohim. Elohim. The Hebrew word Elohim means gods, as the plural form of El, or Eloah, which is the singular term meaning God. In the Bible, the word Elohim appears more than 2,500 times. This means that God, who created the heavens and the earth, is not singular, but plural, that is, gods. Can it be that God is not one? Why must there exist plural gods? To solve the mystery of Elohim, we need to understand the will of God who created all things. You created all things, and by your will they were created and have their being. In all things of the world, there is the will of God who created them. When we look into the principle of creation in the world, we can understand the will of God in it. Then, what is the will of God in everything? On the earth, all living organisms are fruitful and increase in number. All living organisms on the earth constantly give life to their young, which resemble them. Here, we can discover a rule. Birds in the sky have their fathers and mothers. Fish in the blue sea have their fathers and mothers. Lions in the meadow have their fathers and mothers. Not only animals, but also plants bring forth a new life when a male plant's pollen comes in contact with a female plant's pistil. It is the same for humans. There are a father and a mother who give birth to a baby. No one on the earth can be born without his or her father and mother. God made it a principle that life is given through a father and a mother. Numerous living organisms on the earth follow the will of the Creator. The amazing and mysterious principle of the birth of life has already been proven by science. A sperm fertilizes an ovum, and it forms a living organism. Mitochondria are needed to supply nutrients and energy to that living organism. Mitochondria are like energy factories that enable every human cell to work. Without mitochondria, there would be no energy. In other words, no life. Mitochondria are responsible for producing energy needed for cellular processes, and they are inherited from mothers. Every child resembles his or her father and mother half and half. However, the fertilized egg does not have any of father's mitochondria, but only of mother's. This is the maternal inheritance of mitochondria. Our mitochondria are definitely those of our mothers. Mitochondria remind me of my mother, who warmly embraced me in her arms. You passed away, but your mitochondria still remain in my body. The life gene only exists in our mother's bodies, and it is passed on to the next generation only through mothers. This means that life cannot exist without mothers. Even at this very moment, numerous life organisms are born on the earth by receiving the life gene from their mothers. Why do dayflies only live for a day? It is because they receive a life of one day from their mothers. Why do turtles live for more than 100 years? It is because they receive a life of 100 years from their mothers. The life of trees living tens or hundreds of years, and our life of 70 or 80 years that we inherit are only given through mothers. New lives are born by mothers, and the lives grow by their mothers' love and sacrifice. Mothers even risk their lives for their children, and their devotional love moves the whole world of living creation on the earth. This is the will of God, hidden in everything. God let no life be born without its mother's sacrifice and love. If this is the principle of the natural world, then what is the principle of the spiritual world? In the book of Genesis, there is a record about God's creation. That is, it has the record of the birth of all living things of the earth. Among them, in Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, when God created man, God referred to himself as us. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, in our likeness." In the words, God said, God has a plural meaning, gods. In other words, God said, "Let us make man in our image and in our likeness." In Hebrew, the word meaning gods is Elohim. The word Elohim has been a mystery for biblicists for a long time. What appearance do people have who are created in the image of God Elohim? Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, in our likeness." So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. Male and female were created in the image of God, who was referred to as us. Male is from the image of God. As well, female is from the image of God. This means that God is not one, but two, God of male image and God of female image. People have called God of male image God the Father. Then, what should we call God of female image? But the Jerusalem that is above is free, and she is our mother. Apostle Paul wrote that we have the mother of our spirits. Elohim is God the Father and God the Mother. The reason that biblicists have not been able to solve the mystery of Elohim is because they have not realized the existence of God the Mother. Even though God showed all the mysteries of God through the principle of nature, As we receive our physical life from our physical mother, from whom can we receive the life of our spirits? We can receive eternal life only from God the Mother. God put His will in the principle of nature and showed us that He will give eternal life only through the love and sacrifice of God the Mother. Without mothers, we cannot receive life. In the same way, without God the Mother, we cannot have eternal life. This is the mystery of the Bible, which has been hidden for 6,000 years. And this is the reason that all human beings need God the Mother, who exists as Elohim.